Today we're going to be working on relative frequency and putting that into our Excel formula book. So right now we're in frequency and probability, and we're right on this page, and we're just going to be doing our quick dice roll experiment that we did in class. And we are building this outcome here, or this frequency distribution, and we are going to be putting it over here. So outcomes are this one right here. So we've taken the time to roll our dice 10 times, and now we want to record what our relative frequency is. So when it comes to your outcomes, these are all of the different outcomes that we can have. So this side is your sample space. So we're going to model this after a just our regular dice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For that. And if you had more outcomes, you could keep it down here, like keep going. Frequency is just how many times that it occurred. So I rolled a 1 one time. So I get to put that here. I rolled a 2 two times, 1, 2. I rolled a 3 one time here. A 4, it looks like 3, 5 was 1, and 6 is 2. Feeling that's all. There we go. So we don't just stop here. It's great that we can count up how many times that they occurred, but we want to know your relative frequency. This is the probability that it actually has occurred. We call it relative frequency because we perform some sort of experiment. It's not your actual probability, because as we know with your dice in the future, that realistically we have 1 out of 6 chances, so 1 out of 6 to roll each one of these values. So relative frequency, we're going to, actually, before we get to that relative frequency, we always want to sum up your total frequency. So equals sum, and we are just going to drag and drop. You're noticing that I'm going to be dragging it all the way down. That is just for future use. So if you do have more values here that you can, that it'll automatically total. So we have 10 frequencies. So that is symbolizing the amount of times that we rolled. So when it comes to your relative frequency, we're going to tap your frequency of us rolling a 1. So that was 1 time out of, and instead of writing 10 and then dragging, our future selves know that this value of 10 is going to change. So oops, divided by, we're going to select the 11. Now, if we were to just leave it there and drag, you'll notice that it'll come up with an issue. That is because we want this cell to be locked in. So we're going to put the dollar signs around your B, as we had learned from one of your previous labs, that we want to lock in cells by using a dollar sign. Now when we drag, you can drag it all the way down and it'll tally all up. Now we do not need this 90 decimal places, so I shortened mine up. But if you had more, all you would have to do is just extend this down, and you'll notice it's going to come up with a 0 because nothing is over here. So I'll just get rid of those. Now, some extra things that you can do is insert a chart for this. So you can highlight your relative frequency here, hit Control or hold down Control, and then highlight your outcomes here. And then when it comes to your recommended charts, and actually for your future use, I might highlight all the way down and again all the way down, just for in the future if you had something that extended past and you wanted to see what it looked like, we can hit this graph chart here, maybe shorten that up, find a good spot to put it. I'm just going to put it right here for now. And then make these into histograms, just as we're used to. And you'll notice that as this changes, so let's say this is a 3, notice that your graph is going to change. Maybe this is a 6. And you'll notice that as you're changing your outcomes, your total value is changing, and therefore your graph will be affected. Now, this is your relative frequency, so don't stop after your frequency. You have to do that division, and then if you needed a visual chart, there you have it. And that is going to be your relative frequency.